some days we'll do 30 cakes in a day, some days we'll do over 100 cakes in a day. We do about 20 to 30 pies a week, but then we really ramp up for holiday and we'll produce 200 pies in the week of Thanksgiving. I've worked here for so long, so all I know are the chaos of being in a bakery during the holiday season. I don't get, where some jobs you may chill out and relax during the week of Christmas or Thanksgiving, we don't get that. I'm Elizabeth Smith and I own Magpie's Bakery. So we opened in the early 90s. My aunt actually founded it. Did a lot of wedding cakes when she started, and it's evolved over the years. I took over in 2018. I worked here for a lot of years prior, and yeah, I've been running it ever since. My aunts and mom and really all the women on that side of the family are really good cooks. And then Peg was really the only baker, at least to my knowledge. And I just started working here as like my first job, and she taught me everything I know. Never thought I would own it. Still wondering if it was the right decision. I needed a job and she was willing to train me, and I never thought I would work here for as long as I did, let alone purchase it. It was just really a special time being trained by her and working with her every day, and I don't think we'd have the relationship we did if I didn't work here. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, maybe short of being a mom. It's a lot of work. It's way more work than you'd think. I do a lot of back-end stuff, but because we're so small, I have to also be in the production frequently. And so it's just a lot of shifting gears, multitasking, trying to do the right thing by your employees, yourself, your customers. But mostly it's just a lot of hard work, physically and mentally. We make quite a bit. Cakes, cupcakes, cookies, cheesecake, pie. The only thing we really don't do are bread and pastries. We end up working like 14 days straight prior to Thanksgiving. We get a little break Thanksgiving through the weekend after, but we are working 12 to 16 hour days, just constantly producing product. There's a lot of prep that goes into it, so we're making the pie crust ahead of time. We are finding out what our batch numbers are going to be, and then it's always just prepping for the next day. So we typically only do pumpkin pie in the fall season. It is my favorite pie that we make. We started kind of, I would say, beginning of November, and we run it through Thanksgiving. Sometimes we'll make it around Christmas time if we have the availability, but it's really a specialty item for the month of November. So today we're gonna make Magpie's pumpkin pie. So I've got pumpkin puree, some spices, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, condensed milk, half and half, and eggs. So first I'm going to put the spices in the pumpkin puree. And then we're just gonna do a little whisk. And then we're gonna pour the condensed milk in. And then whisk that together. And once most of the lumps are out, then we'll pour in the eggs. Give that a whisk. And you want to kind of break up the yolks to make sure there's no big egg pieces in there before you pour in the half and half. And then once that's incorporated, then we will pour in the half and half, and we are all done. So I've got a raw pie crust here. I'm gonna put it into the pie tin and then flute it. And you want to use a par-baked pie crust so that the crust isn't super doughy. So I'm gonna roll the edges down. Okay, so once I've rolled all the edges down, then I'll take my fingers and I'll make the flutes. So I just kind of nestle my fingers together. Just give it a little something on the edge. And then you'll want to put pie weights in the bottom of some kind and put it in the oven for 10 minutes. And it should look like this. So it's not completely baked, but just enough to keep it from being super doughy. And then we will pour the custard in. This will make 2 pies. And then you'll bake this for about half an hour. And then once it comes out of the oven, it will look like this. This recipe is so simple, but I think there's a little bit of nostalgia in there because it is my grandmother's recipe. But it's just the perfect pumpkin pie. I prefer it cold too, but it's just the texture, it's so smooth. It's the right amount of spice, and I just love it. I could eat it year round. It's not even just the fall. I am so thankful to be a part of this community. Sometimes I have a little bit of imposter syndrome, and it's really hard to try to live up to what my aunt created, because she really did. She laid the foundation for this place, and I'm really just trying to keep it going while maintaining what she created, but also putting my spin on it, so that I'm lucky in that I do so many things throughout the day that I can still bake something and not feel like I've grown tired of it. I love the instant gratification, and I love how scientific baking is, because it's very much, you have to measure things correctly in order for them to come out the way you want them to. So that appeals to me, and I can just follow directions and I get this product in the end that is exactly what I intended. I love that part of it. And then you get to eat it after, and that's a bonus.